You watching this right now are dealing with some really tough stuff. Circumstances that feel, well, limiting, like you're stuck and there's not much you can do about it. But what if I told you that real change, I mean big change, is possible? And it all starts with just one powerful habit. That's exactly what we're going to get into.
The entire reason I'm making this explainer is because of this question. Someone sent this to me on Instagram, and it just completely stopped me in my tracks. I mean, this is a question coming from a place of real serious hardship, a place where it's got to be incredibly hard to find any hope at all.
So this is my shot at answering that question. And yeah, it's for the person who asked it, but really, it's for anyone out there who feels trapped by their situation and is just looking for a way forward.
Okay, so the very first thing we have to wrap our heads around is this fundamental truth about life. Every single thing you face, every challenge, every circumstance can be sorted into one of these two columns. Either it's something you literally can't control, or it's something you absolutely can. And there's a fantastic model for this from the author Covey. He came up with this idea he called our two circles of life. And honestly, it is such a powerful way to figure out where we should be putting our energy if we actually want to see results.
So this is basically a map of our headspace, right? The big part, the circle of concern, that's all the stuff we worry about, stress about, but can't really do anything to change. And then there's that smaller circle, the circle of influence. Now that's where all our real power is. It's everything we can directly affect. People who have a reactive mindset, they spend pretty much all their time and energy living in this circle of concern. They're focused on the bad hand they were dealt. Maybe it's poverty, an illness, where they happen to be born, or what other people are doing. And focusing on that stuff, it just makes you feel powerless. But proactive people, they do the complete opposite. They pour all of their energy into their circle of influence. They focus like a laser on the things they can change, what they're learning, the new skills they're picking up, their health, how hard they work, and their attitude. And this, right here, is where you find all your power. So how can you figure out which circle you've been living in? Well, it's actually way simpler than you might think. All you have to do is listen to the words you use every day. Your language gives the whole game away. I mean, just look at the difference here. It's night and day, right? Reactive language like I can't or it's their fault, that's you just giving your power away. It's victim language. But proactive language, how can I, or I am responsible, that's the language of someone who's in charge. It's all about finding solutions and taking ownership.
And if you want to see what the true cost of living in that circle of concern is, let me tell you this tragic story about a man who everyone in his town just called the Chicken Man. One night, his house caught on fire. He managed to get out, but his family was still trapped inside. And he just froze. Paralyzed by fear, he stood there, completely powerless, as the worst moment of his life unfolded.
His family didn't make it, and from that day forward, he was just broken. He spent the rest of his life just wandering, reliving that one uncontrollable, horrific moment. He chose to live permanently in his circle of concern, and it cost him everything.
Okay, so let's shift gears. Let's talk about how this proactive mindset actually works in the real world, right now. How can you take your circle of influence and use it to create a real opportunity, even if all you have is a phone and an internet connection?
It can start with one single proactive choice. Just decide to learn a new skill. For example, you can learn English to a pretty high level completely for free, just using YouTube. And that one skill, which is totally within your control to learn, can open up a whole new world of possibilities, especially online. So check this out. Here's a real business model you can start from literally nothing. Pick a niche you like, a singer, a show, a sports team, whatever. Make an Instagram fan account for it. And then just post content consistently, every single day. If you do that for 6 months, you can absolutely grow an account past 10,000 followers. And then you sell it. And the potential here is totally real. An Instagram account with 10,000 followers who are actually engaged is a valuable thing. People will pay for that, often around $1,000. Think about that. By focusing on a bunch of small, controllable actions, you've created real value out of thin air.
But you know, this whole proactive mindset, it isn't just about business or making money. It applies to the deepest, most important parts of our lives too, like our relationships.
In his book, Covey tells this story about a man who came to him for advice, totally distressed. The guy says, "The feeling is just gone. I don't love my wife anymore." He was focused on the feeling, right? Something he thought he couldn't control. And Covey's response was so unexpected but so brilliant. He didn't say, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that." He just looked at the guy and said, "Then love her." And this is the whole key right here. We think of love as a feeling, as something that just happens to us. But that's backwards. Love isn't just a noun, it's a verb, it's an action. The feeling of love is the result of doing loving things. You serve someone, you sacrifice for them, you listen, you empathize. You act first, and the feeling follows. That's being proactive in a relationship.
So when you boil it all down, it comes to this. The power to change your life, your money, your relationships, your happiness, it's already yours. It exists completely and totally inside your circle of influence. You just have to stop wasting your energy on all the things you can't change.
So I'm going to leave you with this question. I want you to forget about everything you can't control, just for a minute. Just look at your life right now and ask yourself this. What is one small, meaningful thing completely within my power that I can take action on today? Because the answer to that question, that's where your new life begins.